Haven't you ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
So I said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
I think it's your audio.
Okay, I hear you now.
I hear you. She doesn't know. Her audio, her microphone's muted.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. Hey, everybody. See, it's been technical problem after technical problem, but we're here. We made it. I've got an exclusive interview with for you all today, and we've got Khalil Amani on the stage, my YouTube husband. We've got Paige Nicole here on the stage. You're going to get to know a lot about Paige. And then, of course, you already know who I am, so I don't need to go into anything about who I am. This is all about, we're really going to focus on Paige, but we've got Khalil here because there's a good reason for Khalil to be here today. And you all know that Khalil took down a cult, an organization that murdered, was it 15 people, Khalil?
14.
14 people. The YahWeh Ben YahWeh cult that murdered 14 people in Florida. Well, I'll just say a lot of murders happened. A lot of things went down. He has written a book. He's talked about these things. He has made videos, and I encourage you to listen to every one of them. What he went through was insane, and this was back in the 80s. And then we've got, it seems that after, and keep me honest, guys, it seems like after the YahWeh Ben YahWeh cult kind of dismantled, they reculted again. And then this is where Paige comes in. And so that's why we're setting this up in this way today. So, Paige or Khalil, which one of you would like to kind of just do a quick intro on yourself, and then we'll get started on and we'll get the flow going.
I'll talk first. Let me just say this. Hey, everybody. Khalil Amani here. Most of y'all, some of y'all know my cult story. I was a member of the Yahweh Ben Yahweh cult, on and on and on. Share her story with, with your audience. And for me, the fascination is she's an extension of me. She's an extension of where I came from. And, a lot of these people, they don't even know like the backstory of, they know about King Yahweh, who would be her leader, and then her ex-husband, who is Yahweh, what's his name? Poetic.
Poetic.
And I want her to talk to us about her marriage to a member of the King Yahweh movement and how she got out and all that stuff. She's got a lot to say. So I'm going to shut up. This is not about me. I want Paige Nicole to tell her story to your audience.
And I'm really glad, Khalil, that you came on and gave that, because people needed to know about the fact that you have some history with this. You know what you're talking about when it comes to Yahweh Ben Yahweh and the cult. And you've been through a lot. We don't even have to go into that. But I agree. This is about Paige, who essentially is an extension of you.
Yeah.
So, Paige, go ahead and introduce yourself to us, and let's just start there, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, my name's Paige Nicole. And I was like introduced in the Yahweh, I guess, cult community, whatever, organization back in 2020, kind of like right before COVID hit. I met YahWeh Poetic, and kind of like right off bat, he wanted to say, we're not a cult, and even with the YahWeh in the 80s, wasn't a cult, and it was all a peace movement. And, we were told that basically they tried to shut down YahWeh Ben Yahweh in the 80s for spreading peace and and all this stuff. And so that was him laying down the foundation. And I obviously didn't do my research as I probably should have, and I ended up being with them for 4 years.
Wow.
And I have 2 kids by him, by YahWeh Poetic. And YahWeh Poetic is right under the King Yahweh, who is claiming that he's a reincarnation of YahWeh Ben Yahweh in the 80s. So
Now, the King Yahweh you're speaking of, that's the guy that walks around with all the robes and has people bringing him drinks, and women are always surrounded by him. I've seen a lot of images. He has the way he does his social media, he's very strategic in how he shows his social media, like he lives in a life of luxury. And I don't know what this man does for a living or anything like that, but so can you tell us a little bit? I'm curious, the story that you were told about how things ended. Did Khalil's name ever come up in that? In the fact that he literally, saved people's lives and got people, convicted that murdered innocent people, and the things they were doing when he was, like,
no. So
what did they say? It was just all love.
1 second, Nicole, move your camera over a little bit.
Yeah, kind of get in the middle right there.
Yeah, you're kind of off the screen just a little bit. Yeah.
There you
I
go.
can't see myself.
Yeah, that looks
so I don't
much
know
better.
what you guys see.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
you're a
look
pretty
great.
woman. Hush.
Yes.
So when I told my mom that, like, I met these people named Yahweh, and this seems like a beautiful thing. And she was like, no, Paige, it's a cult. And I'm like, ain't no way. Like, there's no way that these people that I'm talking to is a cult, and
Right.
and I didn't know King Yahweh at the time. I really didn't know. At the time, though, my ex wasn't as like flashy as he is now. So it was very like humble, like very like low key, stuff like that. The way they're moving now is like, what are you doing, right? But
Oh, they're totally getting they have videographers following them,
yeah,
filming them with drones and all kinds of weird stuff,
it doesn't,
to look luxurious and getting out of the
which
nice
is
fine
crazy.
cars, and I've seen
See,
it.
King Yahweh, I mean, he does live in a nice house.
Mhm.
He does have a Rolls Royce, but the stuff that you see online and in his pages and stuff like that, it's not his everyday, it's not how he lives. He does own it, but I feel like his followers contribute to that lifestyle. Because as far as
Mm.
I know, he's busy in, Africa and Ghana or whatever, building schools and doing everything. I don't know.
I
You know,
haven't
I
heard of any. That's funny. I haven't heard of any that he's built. The only one I've heard is Akon, and he's been really serious about that. I mean, I'm not saying the man's not,
yeah,
but that would be something I personally would further investigate,
yeah,
before we do our part two. I want to know if he's really building schools.
yeah.
So how many followers are we talking about here?
I I don't know the exact number, but I've been to, a few events, and I've sat in, where people will fly in and do whatever they got to do to, be there present for, his whatever you call it, speech or what,
Right.
and it's a ton. And he also has like a call line that people get on
Mm.
and they hear that, because I was a priestess, I was in the priesthood, and it
Okay.
was like the Confederation of Yahweh or something like that. But that really never stuck, like the name. But it was like the Confederal Nation of Yahweh priesthood, and I was
Mhm.
a priestess. And so sometimes, like if it was my turn, I would get on the call line and I would have like a presentation that I would have to do. And there would be, I mean, we don't know how many people did the call line, but they were all waiting for King Yahweh to speak his word. It was, I don't know, it was
And
crazy.
does he speak a lot, or is he one of those guys that speaks little and people just like fawn?
I feel like he speaks a lot, but it's in circles. Like,
Mm.
and my ex was doing the same thing. He
Mm.
just would talk and talk and talk for hours. I mean, sometimes we're 3, 4 hours, King Yahweh's just talking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. I want to go to
Wasn't
bed.
his father like that, Khalil? Didn't he used to do this similar thing where he
Yeah,
would
that's
just go
that's part
on
of
and on?
yeah, that's part of the cult brainwashing is the extended conversations that go on for hours and hours and hours, daily
You
and hours.
starving.
And
I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, what is he even saying at this point? Like 3, 4 hours in. And
Wow.
my ex did the same thing, but he would have his little whatever you call it, at home. And he would, preach to me and the other wives or whatever, for hours and hours and
Even
hours.
after you've had to listen to King Yahweh
It
speak for
would be
hours and
like,
hours.
yeah, so say we go to Miami for King Yahweh's event, and then, we get home, and then, maybe the next day or the day after that,
Yeah.
then my ex will do the same thing. Like, he wants to be King Yahweh so bad. Like, he really believes that he's next in line
mm,
to inherit everything King Yahweh has done to pave the way. I don't know.
Wow.
But like when I told my mom that I met, YahWeh and whatever, she was screaming cult from the jump. And she was like, there was a lot of murders and, so I asked my ex about it and he only said that there was one and it was actually like one of his followers that did it. But they took YahWeh Ben Yahweh because they've been wanting to get him off because he was spreading so much peace in the world. Like that's what they said.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was
That's
only one.
amazing.
And it was one of his followers that actually did it, but they hemmed up YahWeh Ben Yahweh because that was an easy, like an scapegoat, whatever.
Right.
So YahWeh, so they're basically teaching you all that YahWeh Ben Yahweh was a good guy. He was about peace. And one thing they did say that's true is that it was a follower of YahWeh that did the murder, but it wasn't just one, it was 14.
Right.
I mean
they left off that 4.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we knew about 1.
And the one YahWeh member that confessed, he confessed to 7 murders.
Oh, wow.
Done at the behest of YahWeh Ben Yahweh.
Right.
But let me ask you, talk a little bit about, so you were married to arguably the number 2 man who calls himself YahWeh Poetic, right?
Correct. Well, yeah, spiritually married.
What's that?
We were like spiritually married.
Spiritually married, right? Because
so you didn't have a certificate, you didn't have to go through the divorce process.
Well, I changed my legal name to his name, which is YahWeh Ben Yahweh.
Right.
So you were in a polygamous relationship with him. How many wives was it of all of y'all?
By the time I left, there was 5 of us. So I was number 3 in the line, and then there was 2 after me that came.
Does that, you being number 3, is there any significance to that, like as far as power and position, or
not at all?
So you're the same.
Say that last part.
You're the same.
No, not at all. It's whoever he picks, whoever's the flavor of the month, the day, the night. Whoever obeys more, whoever can afford him more, whoever doesn't cause chaos, as much. Who's ever his
talk to us about polygamy and just how does that work? Like you all live in the same house and
how
many wives again?
So by the time I left, there was 5.
Usually a man has a hard time handling just one woman, let alone 5.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He can't handle it.
Yeah.
He can't. Like somebody's getting neglected, or 2 people, I mean, it's like,
right.
Well,
I did hear them having a discussion because one of them felt like there was one sister that he was seeing like sleeping with 3 nights a week, and he called her a liar. And then they showed a video of 3 nights in a row or 3 nights in that week that he actually.
And that's how he is. If you're not aware, if you don't clock him, and you don't have like real proof. I mean, thankfully the cameras were there, right? They could clock him. But in the house, you can't clock him because then he'll call you crazy. You're just making stuff up in your head, or he didn't stay the night. I mean, he would do something, to make you believe like, oh, maybe I'm tripping, and he was famous for that. Yeah, but the one that he was staying like with those 3 nights, she was one of the worst as far as,
like in what way? Like
her, like just attitude. It was like me and her competing for the worst trophy.
Right.
I would be it, she would be it, I would be it. Then we would hate each other, and then we love each other, and then she would be the worst, and I would be the worst. So to see that she's his favorite on the show, because everybody is saying like, oh, that's his favorite, is crazy. Because when I was there, ain't no way. She would beg him to spend time. The way Marty, the one that's saying, you know, you're spending so much time, the way Marty was begging him, she was begging him.
Wow.
But he just rotates. Whoever's good for the time, you know.
Can I ask this question may sound crazy, but I'm curious because I don't know much about polygamy. You know, I'm learning.
Yeah.
But do the men in these cults, do they exchange wives? Like, could you have become spiritually married to like King YahWeh, for example, or vice versa, or the woman is my woman forever type thing? Like, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like an exchanging of women that was happening.
Not on like in our family. It was never presented that that would, you know,
Yeah.
be like that. It was like once you're somebody's property, like you're marked as their property, you know.
Did you feel like you were his property?
I felt like we were just there for his image, for him to kind of like just hook, line, and sinker other, you know, victims, I would say, because it's not, he can't love nobody, but he needs some kind of financial, you know, because he's breeding all these babies.
Right.
You know,
How many does he have?
Now, it has to be 26, 27. 20.
Poetic YahWeh has 20.
Not all biological.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But still.
But like his older son is following in the same footsteps as his dad, and he has his 2 wives and their baby living with them, and then his daughter and is living there, and they're both in their 20s. And he tried to get his oldest daughter, but she was younger back then, to talk to one of the nobles that is under King YahWeh. And we just thought that, you know,
that's weird.
Yeah, but poetic, and I don't know how it, well, in the 80s it was all just men, wasn't it?
As far as what?
Like followers or anything like that, besides wives of.
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Okay, so what I'm saying, okay, so I guess let me see. So Poetic made a statement that over time we'll start seeing younger and younger women joining, and by younger I mean younger. So I didn't know if that was a thing over there, because you know, like you see certain cult people are having, you know, younger.
Oh yeah, that was
know what I'm saying? I don't know how I can word it without.
No,
you mean
you did
is
good.
cult leader and the guys screwing young girls, teenagers. Is that what you're asking? Like, yeah, that was going on back in the YahWeh days. YahWeh ben YahWeh, you know, understanding that I was an insider. I lived with YahWeh ben YahWeh. I wasn't just a member. I lived with him.
Yeah.
And it's a fact that YahWeh ben YahWeh was having girls as young as 12 years old. 2 that I know of personally back in those days. His so-called stepdaughter, Sarah, he had been having sex with her since she was 12. And the reason Sarah left the YahWeh movement at about age 15. And one of the last things that she told her mother was the national secretary, her mother was actually married to YahWeh ben YahWeh, common law.
Yeah.
When YahWeh came to town, he came with this chick named that we knew as Sister Judith. And she had a daughter named Sarah. And right away, the daughter became the stepdaughter to YahWeh ben YahWeh, and he was sexing her since she was 12. One of the last things she told YahWeh ben YahWeh when she left, and I talk about it in my book, she went to her mom. She said, "Mom, I'm leaving She said, I'm leaving because I'm tired of your man fucking me.
Oh my
And she was
God.
15 when she told her mother that. And
Oh, and so what did mom say? Did mom stay?
mom gave her a few $1,000s and said, go
Said,
ahead on,
hit the highway.
yeah, get the highway.
Yeah, because Poetic made a comment one time, and me and another queen was together, and I was like, "What'd you just say?" Because he was like, "Don't be surprised if you see, some like a woman who just got their monthly cycle come into the family," and we're like, "What? Like that's younger than your daughter,
Right.
Like that's weird." Like,
Yeah.
and
Well, for a fact, I know that the YahWeh group that I belong to, we taught that when a girl gets her menstrual cycle, she was
She's a
eligible for
woman.
marriage.
Yep.
And so I know that we had back then I was 22, 23, 24, and I know even myself, I had girls as young as 14, 15, trying to holler at me to become a second or third wife. Uh,
mm,
because Yahweh Ben Yahweh put it in the heads of these young teenage girls that
That
they
they
can
need
marry or
husbands.
date these older guys. So
Mm-hmm.
the, those of us that were in our early 20s, we were hot commodities back then.
Sure.
It never went down,
Mm-hmm.
but only Yahweh Ben Yahweh was the only one that I knew for a fact was having, young
He was
teenage
getting the
sex.
best of the best, so to speak, in
Yeah,
his mind, in his crazy, decrepit mind.
yeah. And
And
yeah,
wow.
all that came out in court that he was, messing with young girls. There were two of them. There was one girl, she was from Baltimore. Her name was Nick Madia. And I gotta say, she was 14 or 15. She looked like she was 25. She was fully developed, fully just and not just developed. She was drop dead gorgeous. I mean, 15 years old, she was pretty as hell.
Right.
And Yahweh Ben Yahweh had her. It got so bad that Yahweh Ben Yahweh's wife, who was named Sister Judith. Now I was Sister Judith's bodyguard of sorts back in those days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would be in the office with her while Yahweh Ben Yahweh would be teaching. And I remember one class, she was boo-hooing in tears in her office. And only we insiders knew what was going on. Yahweh Ben Yahweh was on the podium saying, and he was damn near about to curse, but he was saying things like, I'm the king, and I can give my seed to who I want to give my seed to. Now, those of us inside, we knew what was going on, but it was over this 14, 15-year-old girl from Baltimore that he was sexing, and his wife knew, and she was just absolutely bawling, crying about the whole situation. And I was there in the back consoling Yahweh Ben Yahweh's wife about him
Right.
sleeping with this 14, 15-year-old girl. So it was stuff that I knew because I was an insider, because I lived
Right.
there. I knew what was going on. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, as with King Yahweh and even your husband, they're gonna cross those boundaries and those lines with
Mm-hmm.
young teenage girls because they come in there 15, 16, looking 24, 25, and filled out, all in all the right places.
Mm-hmm.
And as a cult leader, or at the top of the hierarchy of the cult,
Yep.
they going for him.
yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
better
are your
like
children young, Paige?
the ones that I have with Poetic, yeah, they just turned 4 in June.
Okay. I mean, so does he have a relationship with them? Um, how does that work? The co-parenting aspect.
We're just
And
like
kind of come over just a little bit.
I
Yeah,
can't
right
see
there.
like my
Yeah,
little
you're
square.
perfect. Yeah, it's
I think
like
I
you
have like
get
the whole
over.
little corner.
Right
Yeah.
where you're at.
I'm
I'm trying to
sorry.
stay in the center too.
Okay,
But
yeah, I
yeah,
can't
it's because it's
see.
3 of us.
Okay. Uh, so in the beginning, well, first he dragged me through court, trying to make me an example to the other wives that you leave Yahweh, you're in hell basically. Not the world ain't sweet, type of time.
Mm-hmm.
So he dragged me through court, did everything he could to try to paint me as a bad mother, uh, which was brutal. Eventually, he tried to talk me back, even after like the court situation, whatever, but never in a million years. Even then, the co-parenting wasn't bad. He would still kind of be around and, stuff like that. Right now, we don't talk. And I think it's because of everything. But there's nothing we can do. Like,
I mean, just like,
he has custody.
but you have custody?
Yeah.
Good.
Usually he'll pawn it off on another wife to kind of do everything for him.
Does that bother you?
No, because I prefer the mothers over him. He can't mentally handle babies or any child that can't really handle their own type of thing. He wants to be able to be like, okay, go, and that be it, and
He
not
wants to do what he wants to do,
a 4-year-old to come back, But I can say, like, when like when I have the twins, like the girl, she loves her dad, and I never take that away from any of them, but I know that one of the moms in particular takes care of the twins majority of the time, because he's really always gone, whether he's, in Miami with King YahWeh, or, on prospecting, another woman somewhere else. So he's always coming and going. And that's just how it's always been.
And one thing that kind of just scares me, Paige, just being honest with you, when I hear that, it's like they're young now, and knowing that these cults have this practice of sinking their teeth in children. We just seen the Jeffrey
100%.
Epstein stuff, right? I just have fear that, because some of those girls, some of those wives, they're going to be okay with that because they're going to do what their husbands want them to do. And I just don't want your kids to be violated in any way because of their crazy religious beliefs.
And believe you and me, I mean, I presented everything to the courts about everything. And one of the wives, mom works in DCF. And so we have our opinion or whatever is that things got slipped under the rug when it came to them, because how the heck they're violating HOA laws, they're violating just everything. Like, there's no polygamy in the state of Florida. They're out in the open about being
the
in
Queen's
poly.
Thrones in the chat, like, how in the world does a cult leader get to even co-parent?
Listen, I tried.
A child.
I tried, but I don't like. What do I do? Like, I literally, and when the judge granted him and I temporary 50-50, until whatever, he tried to fire or disqualify, I should say, the judge 3 times based on racism, because the judge was white. So now the judge is racist because he gave their mother 50-50, which is great. And then because of his relationship, that the judge must not agree with the poly relationship. So now he's being punished by giving the mom 50-50, no less or no more time than he did. We had equal rights, and that was an issue because in his eyes, women are not equal in no way to the man of the household. No way. But which is crazy too, because he calls us all gods, that we are God, but we're not God over him. He's basically God over us.
So he's God, But you're
But
like
we're gods too.
sub-gods. You're goddesses.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question that may seem kind of personal, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, Paige? Did he ever physically abuse you
Yeah, he has.
a lot?
Physically, it happened one good time.
Okay.
And I think that kind of wasn't working. I don't think it worked in the way he thought it was gonna work.
What about
But
emotional abuse and mental
that's what I was
abuse?
gonna say. So it turned to that one physical time, and then it just like revved up to emotionally,
You're
spiritually,
nothing. Like, what kind of things would he say to you?
financially. I mean, so in like every little meeting that we would have, he would always drill it, that we're getting too old. Nobody's ever gonna want us. He's the only one that's ever gonna want us and accept our children as their own. And
That's scary talk.
yeah,
That's
and I was
scary.
looking like, who?
I would
like who's not
run
gonna
with
want
my children if their father said something like that.
yeah,
I'm not even kidding. But I know we're in the United States of America and I know there's laws, but that man, I'll keep it
well,
to
so like
myself.
after I had the twins, he moved me and Crystal, his favorite, after me and her had our babies, because it was like right next to each other. He moved us upstairs as punishment. And knowing we were pregnant, I had 2 babies, she had 1. Like, and it got to my babies were in the NICU, because they were premature, emergency C-section. And I never had twins before, so my
Right. That's a
hormones
big
are
deal.
going.
And it's your first pregnancy.
Well, not my first. I had
Okay.
2 other, but it's my first twin pregnancy.
Got it.
So, but I never dealt with postpartum before, and I never dealt with any of this, like what pregnancy really had, like afterwards. I got pretty lucky
Yeah.
compared to how this twin thing was. So I, was pumping, breastfeeding, I was doing this, and when the babies came home from the NICU, and it just got to the point where I just, I need help. And you're essentially a single mother in a household full of people. You're on your own, because everybody else has their babies,
Right. Right.
So I don't fault for none of the women. I mean, that's just what we know. Like, we all have our own responsibilities, but for him, he could have stepped up a little bit better, and so when I asked him for help, he told me, no, not tonight. I'm sleeping in whoever's, or I'm not going to be into your room. And I was like, well, can you at least take one of the babies for me? Like, I just need to have some sleep, because it'd be like one baby up, one baby asleep, the other one wake up, the other one would be asleep. So it's like I was never getting a break. And he was like, no, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. You should be able to handle it. And I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I need help. Like, I'm tired. And my mom tried to convince him, like, Paige needs help.
How is your mom's relationship with Poetic?
Oh, she hates him.
Did she? And it just sounded like she didn't like him from the beginning. Like she picked up the cult vibes from the get.
I was on the airplane while she was crying to me, don't go.
How old were you on that airplane when you went?
Probably 28.
Okay.
I think I was 28, gonna turn 29 that year.
Yeah.
But I was,
Let me ask you about some of the theology. Did y'all have like meetings in the house or in a broader space with more people, or did y'all?
Within the family, like Poetic?
Yeah, were there meetings like Bible meetings or any of that? And
Oh yeah, he'll talk about the Bible. But it was just within us. So sometimes he would involve the kids, whatever. But sometimes it was really just for us. And he would read the Bible, but he would manipulate it in a way to satisfy what he needs. So it'd be like, the man or the women should serve the man, while the man sits on the throne of the king of the household. They're like,
And what does serving mean exactly? Like get their food for them? Like grape? Like that type of serving or
yeah, everything.
sexual?
Work. Yeah, basically just do what he says. Don't say no. Don't do anything. Just give all your money.
Give all of your money.
You can keep 10%.
Mm.
And if you got like any government assistance, you got to surrender those cards. One of the wives would be on your bank account to make sure you're being monitored about how much money you're really,
And
getting
you guys
in.
were living in what state?
Florida.
Yeah.
So you all basically you do believe in the Bible. Is there one version that you all stick with, or like
The King James version.
Okay, King James.
Mhm.
The reason I'm asking, I'm going to a point of going back to the whole polygamy. Now, I listened to some of this interviews where somebody's unhappy because they're not getting enough bedroom time, and then I hear that I got a couple questions in there. Then I hear that when King Yahweh could not fulfill your sexual needs, that you all would do it among each other. So I guess my point is, what I want to understand is, if you're Bible believers, did y'all teach against homosexuality, or how did that work out where if King Yahweh could not be with you sexually, you all could be with each other? Was that was permissible? Listen to some of the interviews.
Yeah,
So-
like women to women. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but you can't get too close to any woman, and then he'll tear that apart.
Really?
But they could be sexual with one another.
Women to women. Yeah.
Women to women. How about men to men?
No, that's
Stand
forbidden.
by. I gotta take this. I'll be right back, please.
Okay. So you all believe that if he couldn't fulfill yours sexually, you all could work it out amongst each other.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it was not your husband, not or King Yahweh, but did they teach for or against homosexuality, or was
Yeah.
it
Like boys couldn't like the color any type of pink, or that's gay.
Boys couldn't, guys couldn't.
Yeah, no man, no boy, no nothing could like any type of. It was girls pink, boys blue. That's it. No men. The boys couldn't have nothing. No shirts pink for no. Like nothing, because then they were gay.
But it was okay though for the women to be gay for necessity, when he couldn't be around.
Exactly.
So
Or when he was around.
Or when he wasn't around.
No,
So-
was or wasn't. Yeah, both.
Were there times when, as a polygamist, that he could have 2 or 3 y'all at the same time, orgy style, or was it always you had to go with him and just one-on-one?
No, and if usually if there's like a new queen coming in, he'll he'll try to involve like one of like the wives that kind of been there. But he would make it into a sense of like like he never wants to treat anybody the same. So even in those circumstances, it doesn't feel like it's like he's making you guys compete. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get
Like
you.
he's already setting the tone for you to dislike that person or that queen, It's
Okay.
just
I was just curious, because when I heard the one wife say that basically when Yahweh Poetic is not around, and they kind of giggle that we take care of each other. And I was wondering, was that
That's
is there,
true.
is there any biblical precedent, or that's just the way things work?
No, yeah, that's just how the things work.
It's okay. Okay, I was just curious about that because it seems like I know, you know, now, do I understand that most of you all call yourself some form of YahWeh,
Hmm.
either first, middle, or last name? Everybody's YahWeh, right?
Yeah, first, middle, and last.
Okay. Talk to us about the theology and how they explain that it's okay to call yourself by God's name. That's kind of fascinating to me. Is
Yeah.
there scriptures that he uses? I mean, how do y'all get there to say I'm Yahweh? Talk to us about that.
So if you ever meet Poetic, not whatever, but anybody meets Poetic, he'd be like, I am Yahweh, or I am God, and so are you. You shall be named, Yahweh. Anybody that he meets, he'll always, so like for instance, I'm Paige. So anybody, like when he first met me, I was always Queen, Yahweh, or I was Yahweh Paige. But he always, throws in that Yahweh name. And then there's always Yahweh in the first name, middle name, and last name because of the Holy Trinity. So you always have to have that. And then we were told that everybody is one, and you are your own God. And basically, you got to get rid of your birth name and shed that old self, because that's not you no more. You're God, and so therefore you're Yahweh.
Okay, so how do you all explain like Jesus? Did y'all call him Jesus, or you call?
No, you
How
can't
did you
even
look at
say the J word. That's what he
what's
would
that?
say. Like he'll call it the J word. He won't even say Jesus in that household. If you do, it's like pins just drop, like everything just goes silent. Like, what did you just say? Yeah, no,
And why is that? What's wrong with the J word? From his view.
that Jesus just wasn't, I guess, the timeline. I don't know. He talked in circles all the time about that J word. But a lot of times he would make us already like cross it out. When
Really?
reading the Bible, he'll have us cross it out and write
Did he
like
mention did
Yahweh or
did he mention anything about the letter J not existing in the Hebrew or stuff like that?
yep.
Okay,
The
that's
timeline wasn't existing in the alphabet or
so.
whatever.
Did you all ever go to like we used to have feasts a couple of times a year. We call them feasts. Basically, a big gathering, a big meeting. Are there any times within the King Yahweh whole thing where you all get together at a certain time and place?
Yeah, and that's usually where King Yahweh does his little ceremony
Mm,
speeches. They would do like this grand ball looking
mm,
thing at like a mansion in Miami.
mm,
That's when they'll do like they'll rent all the Rolls Royce and all that exotic animals and
mm,
celebrity guests and all the theatrics, right? To
mm,
catch your eye, like, oh, this is lit.
mm,
And then usually, like the next day, that's when King Yahweh will hold his 4 or 5 hour long speech.
mm. Have
Yeah.
you have you ever does King Yahweh or have you ever heard him actually speak on Yahweh ben Yahweh, like teach who he was, or does he ever bring him up?
Yeah, like he really didn't teach. I mean, I've heard him or Poetic talk about, that the government wanted to get rid of him because he was doing such good works in the community, blah blah blah. But then King Yahweh would talk about how he's a reincarnation of Yahweh ben Yahweh. And I guess whatever book Yahweh ben Yahweh from the 80s wrote in prison or jail or whatever, is basically explaining to the people how he's gonna come back unrecognizable to walk amongst his people. And therefore that's why King Yahweh now has no facial hair, no nothing, because back then in the 80s he had all the hair and all the beard, and if he came back the way he once was, then his people would recognize him, and that he would astro project to his body that he's in now, preparing it for what this is now.
So if there was a book that YahWeh ben Yahweh wrote in prison that talked about being reincarnated and King Yahweh being that person, if that book is available, why haven't it? I mean, I would think that would be a great tool to share with you all, to say, this is who King Yahweh is. He's the reincarnation of YahWeh ben Yahweh. Has that book ever come to surface? I mean, have you seen the book?
Supposedly Poetic has it, but who knows? That was when, he said that there was a book, but then over my years of being there and being at these ceremonies and stuff, I've heard King Yahweh, talk about it. But
he talks about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, King Yahweh talked about it, like in his little speeches that he would,
but he's never produced it.
He never produced a book. No. No.
That's crazy. What when you became a member, and did you ever talk to your poly husband, YahWeh Poetic, about his background? Like, high school, what did he do before? Did he ever sit down and talk to you about who he was before he came into this YahWeh consciousness?
I guess he was I guess he still is a music artist, but I've talked to some of Poetic's like childhood friends, and they have let me know like he's just really been sheltered, and stuff like that. They've also told me that his dad was a pimp back in the day. So that's not surprising. But I didn't know that. But I told Poetic from way back that I have actually talked to one of his childhood friends, and you can kind of sense that Poetic like froze up, like, how'd you meet him? Right. And so he gave me all the tea on who Poetic really was.
You don't have to tell me what his name was, but did you ever know his government name?
Yes, I know it.
You do know? Okay. So the reason I asked, because I remember how dumb and silly and ignorant and naive I was when I met YahWeh ben Yahweh. For some reason, who he was in his past life, and I knew he wasn't the name he was going by in the beginning. I knew that wasn't his birth name, but I really wasn't interested in his background. I just wasn't. I don't know if that was being my ignorance. Does that bother you, or is that something curious? Like, who is King Yahweh? Like, before he was King Yahweh, I've seen a video of them talking about him before he was King Yahweh, but it really doesn't say anything that you can sink your teeth in. He just says he was a child, he did this and that. But what do we know about King Yahweh? Education and everything else. His real name.
Yeah, honestly, I really didn't do my research on King Yahweh. I think Poetic kind of keeps you away for a certain amount of time before bringing you around King Yahweh in that sense. So maybe you don't look into things deeper. So by the time that you do meet King Yahweh, and you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, type of situation. And I was just kind of so engulfed into the poly part. Because that's what seemed to matter the most to Poetic, was the poly. The King Yahweh stuff came afterwards,
right?
Glorifying that part,
right? So, but you found out later that your husband was actually an underling of this other dude, King
Yeah,
Yahweh.
I knew of King Yahweh,
Mhm.
but I didn't know how deep it went with, my ex and, his following under King Yahweh, how
Mhm.
deranged my ex is of King Yahweh.
Mhm.
He really I mean, he's a true follower,
Mhm.
like true. Yeah.
And you certainly didn't know about Yahweh ben Yahweh when you joined.
I knew of the name based on like what my mom has said, and then
Mhm.
Poetic trying to backpedal, like no, the government wanted to, kill him and get rid of him, so they charged him for his, one of his followers doing type situation. It was only one murder, and it's just because he did the greatest works in the world, and the government didn't want peace.
Right.
That was
Right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The things that they forget to mention, little things like his biological sister testified against him in court. His stepchildren testified against him. His nieces and nephew testified against him. Little things like that, they don't, tell you just how deep it was. Now,
Yeah.
when your blood relations and your mama, when your sister and your stepkids and your nieces and nephews, they get on the stand for the prosecution to call you a murderer and things like that, you fucked up. But
Yeah.
that's stuff that, Yahweh Poetic and King Yahweh, failed to mention.
Oh,
They make it a government conspiracy to take down another black man who's doing positive in the community and all this great stuff. But I can assure you that when Yahweh ben Yahweh was taken down, Miami celebrated. That's a fact.
but then King Yahweh just kind of took in Miami.
I'm sorry I missed that one.
I'm saying like now,
Mhm.
they celebrated or whatever when Yahweh been Yahweh.
Mhm.
But now it's like this generation, King Yahweh is flooding Miami.
Right,
It's
right.
crazy.
Yeah, he's appealing to the materialistic nature of humanity with all the limousines, the Rolls Royces, the flashy jewelry, the over the top robes and gowns, the bodyguards. People are fascinated by that stuff. And yeah, but Yahweh ben Yahweh did the same thing. Yahweh ben Yahweh, they actually gave Yahweh ben Yahweh his own day in Miami, Yahweh ben Yahweh Day. Um, and yeah, and he had the mayor in his back pocket and many other, notables. There was a movie out, not a movie, but there was a TV series back in the day called Miami Vice, way before you. Miami Vice, about two cops. Um, and even there was a white cop and a black cop. The black cop, he was actually part of the Yahweh movement.
Wow.
Yeah, there was there were some people that you wouldn't be surprised that followed Yahweh ben Yahweh. But of course, once he was arrested, everybody, ran for the hills because
Yeah.
the FBI was on him. And I suspect, watch my word, I suspect that in time between King Yahweh and Yahweh Poetic and some other leaders amongst them, they're going to slip up. They're going
They
to
already
slip.
are.
Okay.
They already are.
They already are.
I know it.
And
They're
they're going to,
too much in the spotlight now,
yeah.
and it's not the good type,
Mm,
because especially with Poetic, it's like how are you providing, for all these women, you're not, but then on all these kids, I mean, there's a lot of
mhm,
financial, like there's a lot of fraud going on.
mm. Right.
But you're on TV, you're doing poly in Florida, you're
Mhm,
claiming that y'all married, you guys got 20 something people in this house. It's listed as a 4-bedroom house,
mm.
but you're on TV, saying all this. I mean, he did a podcast, I guess, on the radio show talking about his monthly bills are 10 grand. Where? Like, where is the money coming from? Because
Right.
I've seen his financial records going through court. He ain't, what is he contributing to that 10 grand?
And he doesn't work, right?
No, the women do. And, but they keep popping out babies, so they can't work, consistently. And on the podcast, they were like, oh, what is the 10 grand contributing to? Food? No, because they get food stamps. So where is the 10 grand? Because it ain't your house, it
Right.
ain't bills.
So,
It's his lifestyle.
so
But
these
it still
wives,
doesn't equal up 10 grand.
right? So these wives, they're getting government assistance, some of them, and then
Yeah.
they turn it over to him.
Or one of the wives to control.
How about talk to us about the babies when they're born? Are they born at a hospital, and do they claim the fathers on the birth certificates? What about that?
Yeah, so they're born traditionally, in the hospital. And no, he is not on majority of the birth certificates. So the, mothers can claim single, with food stamps, Medicaid, taxes. In my opinion, his older two were aging out from under him as far as food stamps. And I just so happened to be having twins. So it kind of replaced his older two that aged out of food stamps and taxes. So now he can claim, he claimed my twins, but it was to replace his older two that he had.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he's probably on maybe, like, without my twins, like maybe 2 or 3 other birth certificates out of 20 something kids. Yeah.
See, that was one of the things that little scheme of having babies but not putting his name on the birth certificate. That's all a scam. We did the same thing, and we actually had a name for it. It was called Aid to the Hebrews. That was the name of it. It was the actual plan. Aid to the Hebrews. And I was married. I had kids, and well, we didn't use the hospitals. YahWeh ben YahWeh, he delivered the babies right there at the temple. He
So
didn't
they
want.
were like undocumented?
No, they were undocumented. They were
Yeah,
totally
undocumented.
they were undocumented. But
Yeah.
then he realized that these babies can be turned a profit. So then he had all of the mothers that had these babies uh, go down to where they go to the welfare department and claim that they didn't know who the dad was or where the dad was, and they would get those checks, welfare checks, food stamps, WIC, whatever programs they had, and all they would take those checks and bring them right back to the temple, go give them to a lady named Sister Judith, and that was part of the scam, and that's a part of what YahWeh ben YahWeh was actually indicted for, and that's the kind of same types of things that your ex is doing when they realize that.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, yeah, the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, when the government, it takes a while for the FBI and the government to catch on. As long as they stay small and quiet, they leave them alone. But if they get to a point where they are being disruptive in the community, whether it be, some murders or suspected murders or whatever it was that caused their attention to the FBI, they're going to go into the whole financial thing. And when they look into that kind of stuff, they're going to see, oh, this guy is fathering these babies but not claiming them. These women are scamming on the food stamp, and that's how they create a RICO against these kind of groups. Of course, the groups are always claiming things like, freedom of religion, and we're being persecuted because of our religious beliefs.
Yep,
No, you're persecuted because you're scamming white folks' money.
Yeah, you're breaking the law.
You're breaking the law. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, same. Yeah, we call it the aid to the Hebrews. Now, because I know for me, when I got out, very, very much like you, I had to leave my children behind because I had nowhere to go. I had to get my stuff together. But once I got myself together, and I was able to get my children out, here I got 2 children that are, by all accounts, are non-existent because they have no birth certificates. They weren't even born in the hospital. So
Right.
I had to prove their existence. That's a tough thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had to, I took them out. My daughter was ready to go like the first grade. She was 5 or 6. Yeah, 6. And she had no birth certificate. I had to go back and forth to court just to prove that she even existed. And then my son, same thing. But I finally got their birth certificates, and it's just a mess. And one of the things I was a little worried about, because I gave my kids biblical names, not Yahweh, but my son was Yehuda, which is kind of a crazy sounding name. Who Yehuda? What is that? I was a little worried about it when kids tease him and stuff like once he went to school. But
But back then, I think it was a different
yeah,
type.
but I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised that I go pick him up from school and kids be like, "Hey, bye, Yehuda," like they could say it like it was nothing. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because I thought about
Yeah.
changing his name.
Yeah.
Like, what is a Yehuda? So, but he goes by Yehuda now. And my son, he's a grown man today. He's actually what they call a Hebrew Israelite, which is what we were under Yahweh ben Yahweh. And when he told me that he was a Hebrew Israelite, he doesn't practice with any particular group. But when I heard he was a Hebrew Israelite, we kind of had a falling out. We fell out for 8, 9, 10 months because it was a letdown. Because my thing was, how you gonna be what I was, knowing that it's some motherfuckers tried to kill me behind that stuff.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and here you go joining it. But yeah. Okay, that's about this is
No, I can
crazy.
only imagine though,
Yeah.
like the journey that you had to do to get, your kids out, and then for him to just turn around and join it. I'm sure that felt like a blow for sure.
Yeah. The Yahweh ben Yahweh, unlike, as far as I know, unlike King Yahweh, Yahweh ben Yahweh, he believed in violence. Is what I would find out after, like I said, talked earlier about knowing their background. I knew
Hmm.
nothing about Yahweh ben Yahweh. Nothing. And I didn't really care to know about it. I was in love with the teachings, you know. And they
Yeah.
told me the same thing. You're in a cult, you're in a cult. Ah, shut up.
Yeah.
Um, but once I got out, well, but even before I got out, Yahweh ben Yahweh sent me to Newark, New Jersey to start a temple. And it is in Newark, New Jersey where I start to hear the rumblings of who this man, Yahweh ben Yahweh, really was or is. And it was there that I was told that he was in the Nation of Islam. Have you ever heard of that group?
No, not
Okay.
no.
Okay. Okay. Well, the Nation of Islam is you've heard of Malcolm X.
Yes.
Okay. Malcolm X was in a group known as the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
And by all accounts, between the government and people in the Nation of Islam, they murdered the man. So I come to find out that my teacher, Yahweh ben Yahweh, was in the same group that Malcolm X was in, and Muhammad Ali, the boxer. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Then I found so, but when I heard it as a member, I dismissed it. Eh, I dismissed it. And then eventually I would get out, and somewhere down the road, I would start doing my research on him. Like, how did I find myself believing that this man was God in the flesh
Right.
or Jesus in the flesh, whichever one? And that's when I began to understand and find out his background, his mama, his daddy, his children. Um, and then I was fascinated. And then it made sense. Here's a man, Yahweh ben Yahweh, grew up in the Christian church in the 40s and 50s, early 60s, disillusioned with what he saw, the racial dynamics and segregation and racism and all the stuff that was going on. Leaves Christianity, joins this same Nation of Islam that Malcolm X and the boxer Muhammad Ali used to be a part of, joined that, very radical group. Spent some time. Not only did he join it, he rose to the rank of. He became a minister. I didn't know none of this when I was following the man. YahWeh ben YahWeh was the minister of the Atlanta temple. His real name was Hewlin Mitchell, but his Nation of Islam name was Hewlin Shaw. And there's a pretty wonderful video on YouTube of YahWeh ben YahWeh when he was in this other organization called the Nation of Islam. He has the full head on, the full uniform, and he's giving an interview to some white police, some white reporters, which I found, and it's all over the place now, but I dug it up. It's like 4 minutes long. 1971, something like that. But then I found out all this crazy stuff about my leader YahWeh ben YahWeh. I also found out why he left the Nation of Islam to start his own thing in Miami. Come to find out, they were about to kick him out because he was touching kids and stealing money. That's the reports from the Nation of Islam. But you don't know these things. We hear these wonderful messages, and it resonates with us, and we join. Speak to us about when you first heard anything about what was it about what you heard or saw that resonated, that made you leave another state to go down there. What was it?
Yeah, so I was living in Missouri at the time, and I kept getting these like Facebook. I had a Facebook request, and then I kept getting like these comments under my pictures, and it was by one of the queens that is in the house now, one of the wives, the second wife. Her name's Jasmine, and she was, pretty much like adamant, talking every day, checking on me. I mean, we formed a really good like friendship, and we had like over 100 something mutual friends, and stuff like that, from Florida. And I reached out to one of our friends that we had mutual, and I was like, who is this person? Because at the time I didn't know that it was Jasmine, because the picture had him, Poetic, and her and another wife. So I really didn't know who, but I just was kind of doing my little research, and my homegirl was like, oh girl, that's just this girl. She's in this poly weird relationship, but I'm not judging nobody, it's like teach its own type situation. But anyways, I really just kind of clicked with Jasmine because we had a similar background growing up in the same, town, and, we know the same people, but it's just like, for some reason, we never crossed paths, and me and her just became super close. And so I was like, what's up with, your pictures, like, whatever. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm in a poly, relationship, and I want to introduce you to my king, and this, that, and the third. And so here comes Poetic. But it was like Jasmine really just glorified like family. Because at the time I was a single mom with my older 2 children, and I was fine. Like, I wasn't looking for, nothing in that sense. We lived in a small house, in this quiet town. But Jasmine came off as like a fresh of breath air at the time. I'm in Missouri. It's cold. It's just like, I'm just kind of being by myself. And Jasmine just really transformed herself into like a good girlfriend, like one of your, like just your best friend. And then, Poetic came into the picture, and of course he loves bomb you, and just morphs into the perfect man. And you're just like, wow, like this is a really good family. You know, they didn't glorify the Rolls Royce and the mansions. It wasn't none of that. They really just focused on family unity, taking care of each other, just having a village. That's what they made it seem like, not a compound of followers, you know. And I really didn't know anything about, I didn't know nothing about King YahWeh. I knew, you know, Poetic was calling me YahWeh, you know, but I just kind of like, that's weird, but just shut, you know. I really love Jasmine. And hold on, sorry, car keys. And that's what got me. And I feel like looking back though, Poetic, like if you look at it as this, like Poetic can't just slide in anybody's DMs and say certain things that a woman can say to a woman. Right. And so Jasmine at that time, looking back at the grand scheme of things, Jasmine is just a girl version of him, a woman version of him. She does things that, you know, Poetic cannot do, just being a man. But going in this, the financial aspect was never brought up. Nothing was ever brought up that started to turn things into a cult. And that's not how you are brought in, of course. And they shield all this from you, you know, about the YahWeh bin YahWeh in the 80s. If you do bring it up, he has an answer for it all. He's rehearsed, you know, and Jasmine's rehearsed as well, because they need more queens, you know, so they can afford the kids. They need help. He just keeps breeding them. So she's of course going to do what she's got to do to bring new queens in, so she can get, you know, whatever break she can need or need to get. It's all a system.
In prostitution, she would be what they call the bottom bitch. The bottom bitch is the closest to the pimp that he can send out there and get other women that he could never get, because, like you said, women can talk to women and coerce them, and
it's modern day pimping. And
in cult terminology, they call that flirty fishing. They actually have a term for it.
And I asked Jasmine, if he tells you to drink the juice, would you drink the juice? And she was like, oh, of course not. No, I don't. Like, she would do anything that man says.
Well, see, that's the nature of cults. All the stuff you said, the financial stuff, what's really going on. They're never going to show you that. They're going to put their best foot forward. Any negativity,
long as it takes to get you.
Any negativity about the past. You mean King YahWeh would have been better off coming out as his own man. That's why, and we talked about this. I talked about this on my last video. King YahWeh, he used to be YahWeh bin YahWeh bin YahWeh, and he realized that was a grave error and mistake, because when there's a YahWeh bin YahWeh, and then he comes on as YahWeh bin YahWeh bin YahWeh, he attaches himself to all of the baggage, negative baggage of YahWeh bin YahWeh. If he was smart, he would have killed the reincarnation stuff and came out as his own savior, detached from any of the craziness that went on in Miami. And that's why he changed from YahWeh bin YahWeh bin YahWeh. It was an attempt to distance himself from YahWeh bin YahWeh. Now, I'll give. Let me say this. I'll give King YahWeh credit on a couple of fronts. I like the fact that he's not a segregationist, that he's not about, it's all about the black man, the black woman, we the chosen, all that garbage that YahWeh bin YahWeh taught. I like the fact that he seems to be a universalist, that he's for all races. You can be a part of his stuff because you, my sister Paige, you could not have joined the YahWeh Ben Yahweh movement
And
unless.
when I posted YahWeh as my name, like on Facebook for the first time,
Mhm.
oh, I got death threats, especially from the Hebrew Israelite. I mean, they were coming for me,
Yeah,
Oh my God, they wanted me dead on every corner.
yeah. A white girl,
Yep.
and then you got nerve to call yourself Yahweh. Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you
Yep.
was yeah. So, because I know that YahWeh Ben Yahweh, his public face was, "I'm for everybody," but
Yeah.
you couldn't find a Latino or a white person in the group. They were not allowed in the group. So, I give King Yahweh credit in a weird kind of way that he's not on that racism stuff.
Yeah. No,
I
he's
give him
not
credit
at
for that.
all.
I see him with white and black and all kind of people.
All
Um,
kinds. Yep.
yeah, so that's that. But as with all cults, they tend to grow and move past some of the craziness of its original leaders. We saw the same thing with the group I was telling you about, the Nation of Islam, where
Mm-hmm.
when the main leader died, the son took over, Wallace Muhammad, and he took these racist or white hating black people, Muslims, and he made them join the greater body of Islam and said that whites and others could be part of their religion. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't last too long, but that's what happened. So I give King Yahweh props on his diversity and the fact that he's not on that kind of BS. But still, we got problems. It's a cult. And the fact that we know nothing about his background is classic cultism.
Yeah.
What's the problem? You know, uh, I remember Yahweh Ben Yahweh used to say from the podium stuff like, "Did you know me?" When people, he says, sometimes people come in and they said, they knew me when blah 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 blah, and I say, "Well, did you know me when I was a Christian? Did you know me when I was a Muslim? Did you know me when I was a Buddhist?" And then he'll say, "You never knew me." Then he'll say, "My own mama don't know me." Or he would be going off on that. You don't know me. And
Yeah.
then Yahweh Ben Yahweh even had some biblical justification as to why he won't say nothing about his background. John 16:13. It talks about this person called the Spirit of Truth that's going to come into the world, and he's never going to speak of himself, but he's going to tell you about things to come. That was one of his favorite verses. So when these leaders come on the scene and they can't tell you what school they went to, what they did professionally before they became, what their government name was, they got shit to hide.
Yep. Yep.
Some of them be having straight up, felony records, whatever. Some of them might be pedophiles. I think we should know this, but the problem is when we hear an ideal or we talk to people and becomes good to us, we roll with it without trying to find out who they are. I mean, I like what I hear.
Yeah.
I love what I hear. But who are you?
Really.
We don't.
Exactly.
Hey,
I am
LeakYou, you
so
back?
sorry. I
It's all
am
good.
so sorry. The police.
Uh-oh.
It was a police situation. Nothing wrong over here, but something really bad happened right here, and they're still out there now. So I apologize, everyone,
It's
that
all
I was
good.
gone that long. I am so sorry,
It's
but we'll
all
make
good.
up
We
for
we,
it on
we held it
Thursday.
down.
Yeah. We kept it going for you.
Yeah.
All I can say is a hatchet was involved.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Down there in Texas, watch out. Texas chainsaw.
Yeah. All I can say is there's a hatchet involved and a man that is on his way 50 miles away and probably is going to be medevaced
Oh boy.
here momentarily. So I
Oh
don't know if
boy.
we're going to hear if they're going to I don't know where they're going to put the copter at. I don't know how they do it, but
Mm.
yeah. Wow.
But you're
I
safe,
just
right?
that just really just kind of just like freaked me out. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
what the
Well,
heck?
I think this was a good interview. We got down to some good things. If you all want to, follow up, let's say again, and hey,
We
go
are.
for it.
I
I've
like
enjoyed,
Paige a lot.
yeah, and I encourage you, Paige, to continue to speak your truth, and
Always.
you might even want to start writing some stuff down.
I've been told, they're like, Paige, you should write a book, and I wanted to speak my truth because I've been silenced for so long, and I don't feel like that's fair anymore. So,
Oh, you're
I'm here
talking to the
for it.
man. He's written 6 books.
I've been
And,
told,
and
yeah.
I have all 6, and I've read 4 of them. So his books are very good, and it'll give you a lot of history
Yeah,
as well about that you're not even aware of that I had. I mean, I had heard of Yahweh Ben Yahweh, but I was in a much younger generation. I never knew I'd meet Khalil Amani of all people.
and
You know,
we
the
met by enemy, huh?
we did, and we met through 2 enemies that hate us. And that tried to make us hate each other. And we have the most loving relationship. I can't even explain it. You heard me call him my YouTube husband. I love this man. I watch every video he drops. I mean, sometimes the first comment, I'm always proud when I'm the first comment up in there before Jafar or somebody else. But, I absolutely adore Khalil Amani, and
I
I'm
adore you
so
too.
glad, that he reached out and found you.
I thought
And
it was fake, to be
no,
honest,
not
because
Khalil
I've
Amani.
been coming out with all my TikTok stuff.
Oh,
You
this
know,
man has been on
no,
Oxygen
I
Channel,
know.
all that.
Yeah, no, I believe them now,
Yeah.
right? But when I get my message request in my
Mm.
Instagram, I was like, huh? And this was before all like the links were, and I was like, ain't no way, And I was like, somebody is spamming, like somebody is really trying to get me to talk. But man, I was
No,
shocked. Like and I listen, I don't get starstruck. I don't get, but I was like, what? That's weird because I'm the 2000s and he's a man that we've been sworn that never existed, like as far as the cult happening. And here you are, I got
Oh,
to,
he
you
existed, all
know,
yeah,
right.
yeah. So, it's like I'm just a little starstruck,
Oh
but it's just
yeah.
because I've lived in your shoes simultaneously, decades later, which is
yeah,
just mind
It's
yeah,
blowing to me.
amazing, and
yeah.
it's
Because the
great to
thing
have the
people, that,
both of you on
yeah,
too, and to get both perspectives. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
It's
You
the
know,
are the,
same book, just
yeah,
different fonts that we've lived,
right,
which is
right.
crazy because
yeah.
I'm over here like, who wants to hear me? Like, this is just, oh, whatever, But when I started coming out with my TikToks and stuff like that, I mean, it blew up because I was like, oh, this is a real deal. Because when
We
you
Mhm.
should
live
go
in it for
live on
so
TikTok
long,
too, Paige.
I'm sorry?
We should go live together on TikTok too.
Yeah, we should
We
do that.
should do that.
Yeah, y'all do.
Just
Yeah,
cause,
yeah.
and
But
just
con-
chop it up with each other,
yeah, but
Yeah, cool.
really consider writing stuff down because um, I was telling somebody the other day. They asked, how did you get on all these TV shows? I said, well, it started with just writing a book. You know, I mean, everybody that
Mm.
gets on TV, it's not that they wrote a book, but
Mhm.
it's a good start. If you
Mhm.
have a
Mhm.
if you have a hard copy of something that you put down, because what happens is these networks, Netflix, everybody, they they have producers and they comb the airwaves for interesting stories.
And who
You
did
know,
they just do? Nature
they Google
Boy.
cult survivors, they Google all this stuff, and that's how your
And
name will
Nature
come up in the
Boy
algorithm. Yeah,
and a Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
yeah,
Oh, they want to do a documentary
yeah,
on anything Yahweh.
yeah.
I bet
And
that'll be one coming up next.
well, yeah. I mean, I interviewed for Netflix. They flew me to Miami. We did a whole. It was like 9 hour interview, I haven't seen what Netflix has done with it, but they did a whole thing. They had me in a mansion in Miami on the beach. I was kicking back like I was ghetto fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So,
all
but I haven't seen it yet.
in my
But
TikTok videos, like people will comment like, Netflix, pick her up. We need a
yeah,
documentary.
yeah.
She looks familiar because she has a lot of videos out there. I
Mhm,
mean, I was up till like 4 in the morning the other
mhm,
night, and then I was up late last night all through
mhm,
her videos. So you've probably seen her, and some
mhm.
of the you're in that conscious community, Queen. Queen's curious, what county was it in Florida that where that judge did that to you?
Seminole County.
Oh,
Seminole.
Yeah.
Seminole, huh?
Well, you just got to keep speaking your truth.
Yeah.
You have a wonderful, riveting
Osceola.
story.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Osceola County. Osceola County.
Osceola. Okay. Yeah, I know where
Yeah.
that's at. Yeah, keep
Mhm.
speaking your truth. Um,
Always. Yeah.
watch your back.
Always.
Yes.
Always watch your back. Lock your doors and just be aware of your surroundings because,
You're a
like I
beautiful
said, King
woman.
Yahweh, his group, as far as I know, they're not violent. They haven't presented yet. But when people like you and I come out the closet and start
Mhm.
playing,
Weird
opening the
things might
pages and
start
pulling back the
happening.
layers, folks don't want to hear that. You know.
No.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
know Poetic already made a comment that I've been exposing too much in just my little TikToks, but I don't care. He's not gonna bully me in silence. He's
Oh,
not.
he
Yeah.
doesn't you've hooked up with me now. Poetic will want to go sit down. Ask
Yeah.
Khalil.
Yeah.
He will want to go sit down.
You got power behind you. You got me and her. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
our voices are.
Poetic's not gonna do jack shit.
Yeah.
Poetic
No,
better go
I'm
sit
not worried
down.
about it. That's why,
Yeah.
he could have, got me into silence back in the day. But like I've said before, like I got a village behind me now. Like I'm not
Yeah.
alone. I'm not
Yep.
scared no more. I'm not afraid of, his little consequences. Like, when I left and I regained my strength and my confidence in myself, I realized who he was. Like, you are nobody, and so
But
no,
taking
he just
others
needs to go
people's
ahead and sit
things
down
to
right now.
survive.
Yep.
And that
Yeah.
is the definition. What's that verse in that song? If you don't work or eat,
Yeah.
you're a
If any
bum.
if any man should not work, neither should he eat.
Yes. And I believe in that truly. Taking from people is not working.
Right.
That's
Uh,
stealing,
Yeah.
he's
and
working the system for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, but
And
Um,
and honestly, I don't have a problem with a poly relationship. That ain't my beef. I got no problem with that. I mean, if
same.
people want to get together, consenting adults, I got no problem with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
me
definitely
neither.
biblical. It's biblical. I got no problem with that. My problem is if I'm gonna have more than one wife, I'm gonna be working like they working. We gonna do this together.
And that's
We
how
ain't,
it should
and
be. And
and
that's how
and they ain't gonna give me their money. We'll have a pot where we put so much in, but I'm not gonna give you 10%. I take 90. We're not doing that. If we
that's
if
how
we
Yeah.
if we truly are all gods, then we equal.
Right. Right.
well, he
Right.
drains you. Like if you have a good credit score, that's going down fast. If you have credit cards, that's going into the negatives. If you
Mm,
got food stamps, that's being taken. Finances taken. Your self-confidence taken. Your
That is
self-worth taken. I
that's like
mean,
a
this
pimp to
just
me.
makes you this small when you came in and you were a
And you're this
giant,
big and you
and
come
now
out like
you
this
are
with
like,
nothing.
where are you? Yeah.
That is just like a pimp.
And
yeah.
it's slow too. And
It's
it's like,
gradual.
yeah, and you never see it coming. Like you never realize until shit hits the fan and you're like, oh shit, and I mean that's what took me so hard, so long to leave, because like we were talking, you're left with nothing. I had to leave my kids because I had no financial stability. I had nothing to my name. I couldn't afford nothing. And what do I look like taking off for my kids, knowing I couldn't feed them, I couldn't clothe them, shelter them, nothing. So I had to, make that sacrifice, and that was the hardest thing ever,
Oh,
to
yeah.
me. But as soon as I, saved enough checks in the shelter, I got a place, got my older 2 kids out, that he couldn't have no control over.
Right.
He tried to get me to lose my older kids. That didn't work. And he just been trying to do everything he can to just keep making me small, but I refuse, and but that's
Absolutely.
what they do is
Yeah.
keep you
He's
And
an
it
down.
sounds
abuser.
and
Oh,
it sounds like listening to the different programs I've watched about them. I don't see what is so special about their poly union because they're having some major issues with respect, and you
Mhm.
have more sex with this one and
Mhm.
some jealousy. So what makes them? I mean, I don't see their poly relationship functioning like a smooth machine. Like
yeah, and I
I
think
would.
that's where they messed up by going on TV because
Mhm.
now it's out there that y'all are having issues. So
Yeah.
why would anybody join that? But
Mhm.
in the beginning, especially when I came and whatever else, they weren't on TV.
Mhm.
You didn't see the bad. You didn't see the ugly. So you
Only
really only
yeah.
had what him and the other wives that were there, to go off of. And of course, they're going to glorify it because
Mhm.
they need you, because they need your money, they need your help, they need, all this other stuff. So
Mhm.
I think, the worst move that they could have possibly done for themselves was to get on show
Mhm.
and put this out there,
Right. But
you know.
these
So
channels.
Poetic never worked an actual job ever.
Back in the day, before he
Yeah.
had multiple wives and stuff like that, but
Right.
no, his job is to recruit women,
Right.
throw them into the house, breed them, take their money, drain them, put them
It's
on the
almost
shelf.
like human trafficking in a
Oh,
way.
100%. You just
You
don't know
know?
you're being trafficked.
You just don't realize it, which
Just
a
don't
lot
know.
of women in this country don't.
And he, isolates you from your family, isolates you from your friends. You're just kind of wired to not speak about, this type of relationship to the outside or to your work or anything like that because people just misunderstand you. And, your name's Yahweh. So, they're essentially going to be after you because everybody knows Yahweh and your fame. Like he glorifies,
That
like, oh
name.
yeah, you're Yahweh. Like
Like, oh my
really,
God.
it's like
Let me bow
no,
down.
what the
Right.
heck?
Have you
And
ever seen them do weird stuff like that? Like bow down or weird rituals with King Yahweh?
Um, no, not like the nobles. I don't know what the followers may have do. But it was
Right.
like mostly all like older generation is
Hmm.
the mass following.
Like
Um,
Daddy's following kind of took him under the wing, and it
Yeah, like
sounds like
all King Yahweh's followers are well, over,
Mhm.
but and I think the younger generation are the wives.
it
Mhm.
makes
Well,
sense. And then
you
go ahead,
definitely were in a
Skilla.
cult, just like you said. One of the earmarks of being in a cult is number one, not knowing much about the leadership, their background. Number two, when they get you away from your friends and your family, you lose those familiar ties with mom and daddy, with people you went to school with, when they don't want you to be around, people you grew up with, like, or don't want your children to have normal lives and go to regular school or play with the kids down the street. Those are
Yeah, no,
signs
they
of,
could never do that.
yeah, that's cult stuff. That's
Yep.
cult stuff.
And
Mm,
the changing of name,
Absolutely.
losing your identity, you're losing your who
Yep.
you are.
Yep.
It was mandatory, but the name change. But
that was mandatory that you had to change your name.
yeah, or you are not one of them.
Mm.
You didn't have a sense of belonging. You were an outcast.
Mm.
You're of the world, you're worldly if you are still having your, birth name. And like the tattoos, like I have King Yahweh right here. And then I got like one right here, one on my leg, one right here. Oh yeah, twinsies.
Wow.
Yeah, I got another one right here. Me and King Yahweh's one of his child's mother. And two of my ex-wives all have one right here.
Wow.
And then me and Jasmine have one with the sunflower, and we have one on our side of our ribs or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the branding, it's not mandatory, but you feel less
Like,
than.
right.
You know, he says it
Right.
without saying it. He'll make you feel it without saying it.
A little peer pressure.
Yeah, it's not mandatory because I've been quoted that I said it's mandatory. The tattoos are not mandatory. The name change, however, it is mandatory.
Well, I have one last question for you that I want to ask because because obviously the FBI has been following YahWeh bin YahWeh, everything YahWeh bin YahWeh for 30 years, right? And they know about Khalil and the deaths, the murders and all that. Were they still by chance talking? Did the FBI ever talk to you? Did you ever talk to the FBI? Are they still monitoring this cult, do you think?
I don't know. I never talked to any of it. Are you talking about me?
Yeah, like the one, with like with King Yahweh and poetic. Yeah, you know what I was gonna say, but I stopped myself.
Poetic justice. Poetic injustice.
Yeah, injustice.
Well,
I didn't know anything about FBI.
I can tell you this much. As long as King Yahweh positions himself as a humanitarian and a lover of all nations, he's
And a
not going to be on the
philanthropist.
watchdog list because
Yeah.
there's the FBI, there's the Southern Poverty Law Center, and
Right.
there's the Anti-Defamation League. Those are
Yeah.
the three people that watch hate groups.
Right.
YahWeh bin YahWeh is definitely on the Anti-Defamation watchdog list for hate groups. He's also on the Southern Poverty Law Center watchdog list of hate groups. King
Right.
Yahweh, King Yahweh, I would suspect, is just being monitored because of his
Mhm.
affiliation with YahWeh bin YahWeh. But
Right.
but
Right.
he's smart enough to diverge in his message and make it
Right.
more inclusive. And
Right.
the proof is, sister right here, Mrs. Paige, because she would not have been a part of YahWeh bin YahWeh's group. But again, while you were gone, I actually gave King Yahweh credit for broadening the scope of his ministry, so to speak,
Right.
and
Right.
allowing others, you know, um, other nationalities. I'll tell you this much, Paige.
Hmm.
I was never racist as a kid or hated white people, but YahWeh bin YahWeh joined this group. He made me hate white people for those 5 years.
Yeah.
But when I got out, when I got out, my own therapy in hindsight was I ended up dating and marrying a white woman. 10 years.
The tables have turned.
And hey, I'm half white, half black, but they call me
Exactly.
white lady all the
All the
time.
time. Yes.
And they think it bothers me, but it don't. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
I
You're a
I am
biracial beauty.
LeakYou.
That's right. Yeah. And I can tell you this,
It's
Paige. I started dating a beautiful white chick, and I was seen about town by the Yahwehs at different functions and events. I mean, she was a hottie, and that got back to YahWeh bin YahWeh, and yeah, they really didn't like me for that,
mm,
and,
mm, mm.
and the fact that I began to speak to newspapers and stuff like that about what
Right.
was going on. So, but when I think back on it, I mean, I dated that white woman and ended up marrying her in all fairness and seriousness because I loved her. Because,
Mhm.
but looking back, I realized that I wanted after the brainwashing that white people were devils, white people were the scourge of the earth. This is
Right.
what this is what
Yep.
Yahweh taught. I
Yes,
wanted
I've
to,
read that
yeah,
type
I
of
wanted to
pamphlet.
find it for myself. And I just
Right.
was blessed that I was in a position where I met a, wonderful young lady, and she exposed me and opened my worldview up, and got me back to where I used to be because I never hated white people.
Did they have that same thought process, Paige, when you were in, that white people were the scourge of the earth and the worst
No,
people in the world?
no,
Okay,
No,
I was just,
he would
that's what I
make
was
it,
saying. King
yeah,
Yahweh is
okay.
smart enough to move away
To
from that
know not
racist
to
stuff.
do that.
but they do
Yeah.
that with police. Like
Yeah.
if you see a police, then they're the devil. Like they're here to,
Right.
like they would train the kids to believe that if a police ever comes and talks to you or whatever the case may be, they're trying to take you away because they're the bad one. Like he's
Wow.
training.
There's been a lot that's happened in America that has a lot of people feeling that way for a variety of different reasons.
Mhm.
Too many people getting killed for no reason out here. And
But
so,
it was because DCF was coming because of the stuff that's going on, at their house and stuff. So the kids were kind of like resort back, like, don't talk to the police, they're gonna take us away, but really we're trying to save you. I mean, it's not like on my doing, but you know what I'm saying. But Yahweh Poetic, since King Yahweh does preach like all nations and this and that and the third, Yahweh Poetic, if you look at his lineup, he tries to have all nations under one roof, and you'll hear him say that he has all nations under one roof, and so it's like he's trying to embody King Yahweh and be like that one to do it, and he just swears he's next in line of the inheritance that King Yahweh has, and he's gonna get all his riches and all this stuff, and I'm over here like, all y'all are living on handouts from other people. Like,
and the King Yahweh is too.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no
they
question.
All,
You
all
can
the
tell.
nobles.
Yes.
King Yahweh.
Because I've seen him with a lot of celebrities. That's the thing about King Yahweh. I've seen him with a lot of celebrities.
They gotta make it believable.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's playing some of those women for money. Because rich women give it out, money out, and are sugar mamas, just like.
If you look at his thing where all these celebrities are saying, "Oh, shout out to King Yahweh," those are paid
I was going to say that.
It was driving me crazy because I said, "Why are they posting all these back to back?"
Wow.
Like,
they pay for it.
They're paying.
There's a service where you can get a celebrity to shout you out.
I found, and I told one of the wives, I was like, "You don't think it's odd?"
I didn't know
and she
that.
was like, "Oh, are you serious? We've been posting and reposting paid promotion, like paid."
And all we had to do was just pay a celebrity to come to the house or come somewhere for an hour and
show up,
do a quick podcast, or let's play kickball or something.
Yeah.
Those are all paid. That came out years ago. It was exposed that those were paid ads. Yeah.
I've never tried to get my clout that way. I've always gotten it just by doing my vlog videos.
That's the best way.
Everything is a handout. Everything, they took a shortcut, and when you take shortcuts for long enough, you're gonna end up.
Oh, it's gonna end. It ends shortly.
Yeah.
Right.
Shortly.
You go the long way, it lasts longer. But
but
go the short way.
That whole king organization, not even a kingdom, the whole organization is built on is other people paying for them. Like, Poetic has his wives paying for his way, and we are even paying King Yahweh out of our check. A portion goes to King Yahweh, paying our tithes.
So quick question, how much would a check be?
It varies.
Like in a week. Did you get paid weekly or monthly or
maybe I'll get?
They're not getting checks from Yahweh. Those are checks from jobs.
That y'all are working regular.
Regular jobs.
I
thought you were having to do both. You work for him and your regular job.
No. We would pay out of our work check.
But you only got to keep 10%.
And then
very few cults are paying their members. That would be an anomaly.
Right.
You gonna get you gonna give. You ain't gonna.
Sign me up. Just kidding.
Yep. Yep.
Sign me
That's a
up.
fact.
Because I can tell you, when I became a full-time worker, initially when we first moved in, we were getting $5 a week, and
What?
that was for our toiletries and stuff. But that only lasted a little bit. Then Yahweh said, "Fuck that."
You got to figure it out yourself.
Well, he just
Basically.
said, "We ain't paying you, but if you need some soap, some toothbrush, some toilet paper, go over to the department and get your stuff." So
Wow.
we weren't getting nothing, and we used to start out. We had some really good meals, some steak, and all kinds of stuff. About 4 or 5 months later, it was beans and rice, bread and
Uh,
water for
Oh
4
my.
straight years. Yeah,
wow.
I was so skinny. I was like a whoop.
Ooh.
If you
I
want to
am
lose weight,
so glad the both of you got
Get
the
on that
hell
diet.
up out of there.
yep, get on some
I'm
beans and
proud
rice.
of y'all. I just want y'all to know I'm very proud of the both of you.
Thank you.
Sincerely from my heart.
Thank you.
I'm proud of
Because
this young
there are
lady here.
I'm proud of her too.
Yeah,
Man,
I've been
there's
I've been
people that
watching their movement, and I've been waiting to meet someone like Paige. I've been waiting. I'm like, somebody's gonna defect, and somebody's
yep,
gonna blow the spot
yep.
up. I'm waiting. So when I found you, I was like, when I saw you in that lady's chat, I said, "Oh, I gotta find her. I gotta find her. I got.
Well,
Oh, is he talking?"
Because that's when
He's
you
like,
said YouTube, and I was like, "Who are you?" Because I don't
right.
have a YouTube.
Yep.
That's why
Somebody,
I asked you, like, who
oh,
you
we're on
are.
they
I don't
took the
Spotify
have a
over
TikTok
YouTube.
here.
video.
Yeah, this is going to go on Spotify, Amazon, Google, all that after this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
I've
going to
had a great
be
time.
I
I
have
I
just,
did
too, and I'm
too.
sorry I was away for so long for that incident, but
it's all good.
it's
When you
all we're
look
going
at
to
the,
make up for it on Thursday, Paige, when we
Yes.
have our discussion.
I'll be
Um,
watching, and I might come up. We'll see.
Hey, sounds good, Khalil. Thank you for coming on, Khalil. I
All right.
appreciate you.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
end
Thank you
things
for
with Paige
coming.
here, and
Thank you.
thanks, Khalil, for coming up.
All right.
Love you.
Keep speaking your truth, Paige.
Always.
Be strong, and we got you.
That's right.
Yep, I feel
All
it.
right.
Thank you
That's
We'll
so
talk to
much,
right.
y'all
guys.
soon.
All right now.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
All
Who
right.
signs out? You. How we get out?
I'll take you out.
he's, he's like my mom. Like I used to do video like on Snapchat.
Just close this browser, Khalil. I know you can still hear me.
And my mom's like, "You have to hang up, Paige. I can't hang up." And I'll just keep her on there. She's like, "Paige, hang up."
Like,
And
I
I'll be like,
don't
"All
know
right,
what
I got
I'm
you."
doing.
Well,
I
thank you
mean,
so.
wow. I mean, I'm obviously going to have to go back and listen to some of the things I missed because of what
Yeah,
was going on
you
out there. But
covered a
that's,
lot, for
yeah, I
you to.
know.
Hmm.
That's okay, though. I'll be
Yeah,
ready for Thursday, for sure. I'm just glad you got up out of there. And I can't imagine some of these women that have spent their whole lives in these cults.
I can't either.
I
But
mean, that it's straight up human trafficking.
but you don't understand that, right?
Right.
It's so familiar to
Right.
you at that point. Even before when I was still in there and I would tell people like, "Oh yeah, I got 4 other wives and all these kids." They're like, "Paige, what?" And I'm like, "What?" But it works. Like the system works because you're so conditioned to make it work and you
Mm-hmm.
have no choice. What are you going to do?
Right.
And so even just like with the women that are still in there now, like I feel sorry. They may see this and they're like, "Oh, damn her, she exposing." But it's like
But you
I
know what
feel
else?
sorry.
Somebody's watching this saying, you know what? She's getting her story out. I think maybe it's time I get my story out.
Yeah.
That's the trickle effect of what you're doing may have.
Yeah. And I hope.
So watch your DMs. People may start reaching out to you, but also watch out for weird stuff happening, because of this interview. Because, like I said, it's about to go up on Spotify and all that. And it's already being streamed all over the internet right now.
That's crazy.
And so they are going to freak.
Oh,
And they're going to be like,
But if they weren't doing nothing wrong, then
right,
why
they
be
should
scared?
have a reason to, right? But we know people are weird.
Oh, 100%.
100%. But I to any women that are listening, or men even,
Yeah.
if you have been involved in anything YahWeh and you've been quiet for years upon years and you are ready to get your story out, contact me at LeakYou. It's just LeakYou at LeakYou.com or tips at LeakYou.com, because we've got resources behind us that other bloggers don't when it comes to this story. We got Khalil Amani, who is a vet, knows this group in and out. And again, you can go to his channel and watch the videos. He does talk about his experiences, but you do not have to continue to be abused.
Yeah.
And we'll do everything we can to help you get out of these situations. If we have to look for shelters for you to go to, to get you out and safe, just please, tips at LeakYou.com or LeakYou at LeakYou.com. Or if you see me on social media, send me a DM on Instagram. I don't check them as often, but I can promise you, if you email me, I will see it instantly. So I just want to put that out there. And that please invest in your personal security. As Queen and Emmanuel are saying, think about your kids, think about your safety, think about the fact that we only live once, guys. Once. We don't get along. And there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And there's so much. Think about all the things you could be doing for yourself, like going on a trip to Turks and Caicos, but instead you're giving your money to some bozo who's taking some other bitch to Turks and Caicos.
With your money.
With your money.
Yeah.
No. Stop letting it happen. You know what I'm saying? Stop letting it happen. Reach out if you're ready, and I will help you get your story out. And I just want to say that. I just felt the need to say that. And Paige, if there's anyone that reaches out to you, please give them my you've got my contact information.
Yes.
Please give it to them.
I got you.
Yeah.
100%.
So for everybody that's still watching, we appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to be, we're going to talk about poetic. We're also going to talk a little bit more about YahWeh and the cult and everything, but eventually we're going to get into poetic pretty tough. And so expect that on Saturday, especially. And we may get into it kind of tough on Thursday. We felt that this was so much information that we needed to do this in 3 parts with a day separated in between, so we can rest up from the drama of the night before. And so, thank you, Paige, for coming on. I can't, I'm sorry about what you've went through, and I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story. And honestly, I think that the way that you have presented it, you've done it in the proper way. And like I said before, I'm really glad that you're not in that situation anymore. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have, little futures, my
That's
kids
right.
in my hands. And also I used to feel sorry, like, why did I have to go through this? Why me? Why me? Why me? But I really feel like I do go through certain things, unfortunately, for somebody else to get through it or to not go through it. And so as long as I can help somebody, or it resonates with somebody, then everything I've been through is worth it, to
Right.
help the next person.
And Paige, you may become big in this. I mean, you never know. There may be hordes of people that are going to need you,
And I'm here for it.
and that's going to help you grow even more into the beautiful woman that you are. And so I'm here to encourage you, and I'm here if you need anything.
I appreciate
And we'll have our show Thursday and
it.
Saturday, and we will continue to stay in touch.
Of
I
course,
tend to stay
always.
in touch with all the people I interview, so
Yeah, I
it's
mean, you have no
normal.
choice. We're
Because I always
provider.
want to know what's going on 6 months later, how you're doing,
Yeah, of course.
stuff
It's
like
like,
that.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No,
but I think this
100%.
went good, except for the fact of what happened outside. That I might do a vlog and talk a little bit about it later on, but it ain't gonna be tonight. But my God, they're out there spraying. I think they're out there spraying the roads down right now. With the fire truck.
Oh no, you
Oh
can
my
only
gosh.
imagine.
Yeah, somebody got mad over somebody's horse. That's what they do down there. It ain't about person to person. Somebody got mad about somebody, whatever they did to the horse. It bothered the person, and I hope that person survives what they just went through tonight, is all
Yeah.
I'll say.
Oh no.
And so, of course, the police were asking all these questions. I kept telling them I really need to step away, and they wouldn't let me. But I'm
No.
like, I didn't see anything. I heard a couple of things, but I didn't see. And I've been in here vlogging, dude. I gotta go. And he
Right.
finally let me go after, of course, give me your ID. And
The
it's like,
work.
God. So Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, guys. I will have the video up tomorrow, the thumbnails, the flyers. I meant to do that on this one. Things just there were this. It was like, I don't know. It was a crazy. This day's just been crazy, and it's not even just this. It's been everything today for me. It's just been nuts. So I expect tomorrow to be or Thursday to be much more calming.
Yeah, more
But
smoother.
tomorrow we're gonna have the videos ready to go. They'll be up so they can be shared. They'll at least have 24 hours to share them out. And please, guys, share, encourage others to watch. And we're going to be talking about human trafficking on Thursday, especially because I believe a lot of this is human trafficking. And I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail because it's happening so much. Human trafficking is happening so much, and so many women they're walking into it,
Blind.
and it's like they don't get it. They don't get, as long as somebody's taking care of me, this attitude, as long as I'm taken care of, I'm eating every day. I promise you, if you go out and get a job or a skill set, you'll take better care of yourself than any man could ever do for you.
Yeah,
I'm
they
living
should just be able
testament
to
to that.
compliment you.
Yes, not tear
If
you
you're in a
down.
relationship where you're solely like depending. Oh, where did he go?
I'm back.
That was awkward.
I hit the wrong button on the mouse. The
But what
Mac.
I'm saying is, like, if you're in a relationship that you're solely depending on a man or a significant other for shelter, food, whatever, you got to get out because
Get out. Do
that,
it for yourself. Depend
yeah,
on nobody because in
no,
this world, there are few friends and people are not going to take care of you forever.
no,
I love my sister. I love my brother. But I'm not going to sit up here and take care of you forever if you're able-bodied. That's
yeah,
insane.
exactly.
And spend your money on yourself. Go buy yourself a Rolex. Go get your hair done. Don't give your money to a man that's just gonna waste what you spent those hard-earned hours on other bitches.
Yes, yeah.
And
On
other
his
potential
Rolex.
men as well. And
And
yeah,
that's
I
not
said
no
it.
man either.
You know? You
Because
never
it's
know.
crazy because he's living off of the women, but really the women are depending on him. Like it doesn't make no, you know?
Hey, Terry. Good to see you, babe.
Like he's conditioned the women.
He has groomed them.
Has groomed them
conditioned
that they are dependent on him.
Mm-hmm.
But really he's dependent on them.
That's correct. That's
and if
what
they would
pimps
just
do.
stand up, they could overtake him and he'll be so small, just like everybody else.
In a hot second. It would take
quick.
4 or 5 girls that could beat his ass up with the quickness.
Yep.
But they are allowing it, and they have to stop allowing.
But they
him to do that.
know better at this point. They have been completely washed away from.
They've got to figure it out. And that's what we're here for.
If they want to figure it out.
If they want to, that's correct.
Know,
they've got to want it.
Are they comfortable? You know, that's the question. Have they just embodied this life now where you get to a point where you do feel defeated? You know, and you just have to roll with it. Like, this is my life. He, you know, breeds you with so many kids, and how are you going to start over?
That's probably one of the first things he'd be trying to do is get the women pregnant.
Before I even moved or anything, he was talking about having kids. And, you know, I took my fallopian tubes out with my second child. And, you know, we talked about IVF and, you know, this and that and the third, but I've talked to women that he's trying to talk to or has. Mm-hmm. And the first thing is like, I want babies. Do you want babies? You know, your children are my children, off the jump. And
you know, there's actually a condition in men of, I heard about it in New York City once. They had arrested some man, like he was intentionally impregnating as many women as he could.
That sounds about it, yeah.
On purpose, like just 'cause he wanted to be the biggest baby maker on earth, which is crazy. And now he wasn't taking care of any of them. I believe it was the child support system that ended up getting him caught up and ended up in the news or something. But it's like, how are you going to take care of, you know, I know a man right now, Paige, who passed away about a year ago, who had 78 children. Okay? 78. He worked construction jobs his whole life, mostly like concrete stuff. Mm-hmm. Not in the town I'm in, but in a different town. And he has 78 kids. And I've heard there's another one I know that has 60 something. There's some of them that have brothers and sisters that have met that had an attraction and didn't even know they were brother and sister. But the real attraction was that I'm your brother, you're my sister. It shouldn't be a lust attraction. The real attraction is we're related and we don't know it, but we're feeling something between us. You know? And so could you imagine like getting pregnant by your own brother and not knowing it's your brother?
Right.
It can happen a lot especially in these small towns.
Yeah. And I want to, I know one of the comments on YouTube saying having money for IVF, but on welfare. We maxed out my credit cards, really.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So, you know, with the promises that, you know, he'll help pay it back, you know.
Which never happened.
But basically, no, I just got left in debt. You know.
Did you have to file bankruptcy?
No,
That's good.
Had to let it go at that point. It's been so long now. But because it was like I was making payments, And then, I had the twins and everything, so I stopped working for about a year, and he
Yeah.
let everything go to shit. And
You'll get it back.
yeah, I'm
I
not worried
mean,
about it. This was,
yeah.
but it was just like that's what he does, like,
Mm-hmm.
so he gets what he wants. And because I try to back out having babies, I didn't want
Right.
no more, because Crystal in the show, she was pregnant with her daughter. And
Right.
I told him, like, I don't think it's a good idea. I think we should wait. And, I tried to not even start the medication, even order the medication, none of it. And he said, no, we're having kids. Like,
Period.
period.
Like it's coming out of his body. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna go through the pain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I can't stand
I
that.
didn't even want to do it. But, when you're in that,
Oh,
you're going to get repercussions and consequences.
yeah.
You just try to walk a straight line type. But I love my twins. They're
Oh,
the
I
best.
bet.
So
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful. But now, I got my other 2 children out. So, my
Yeah.
goal is to handle the rest.
Yeah. And you will. You will.
Everything's with its own time.
That's right.
And
Hey, I'm having to tell myself that with things that I'm dealing with personally.
hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I'm going through some
but
tough
just like
times.
we talked about, you take shortcuts, it's gonna
Yeah.
be, but I've been patient, and I've been doing everything honestly, and
That's the
how I
that's
should
the
move.
thing.
So
Being
I have nothing to
honest.
worry about.
That's right.
Like I told Poetic when I got served papers for him trying to take full custody, I texted him and I said, God don't like ugly.
And you know what? He probably got the money from another woman to file those papers.
No, he filed indigent.
Oh, so he filed like he didn't have any
He
money.
ain't had nothing. Yep.
Oh, he's something else. Oh, Poetic, you're not gonna like me after today, player. Wait till we get to Thursday and Saturday. And then wait till I start talking about all the other stuff I find out online about you. Poetic, you are not going to like LeakYou.com. I'm letting you know that right now. So I'm just letting you know it's okay. You can call me your op, whatever. You can act like I don't exist if you want, but I got enough subscribers where you'll be getting, people are going to, they're probably calling you now saying there's a lady online there. She's talking major crap about you. Yeah, I am. And I ain't done.
Yep.
So,
I'm sure I'll probably get a text or
oh, I'm
something.
sure, but
'Cause
you
even
let
when
him know to just refer him back to what I said.
Yeah, I'd be like, just go to LeakYou.com. But when I starting off with my TikToks, he couldn't help himself but to write me and said, "Oh, you want to talk about me and my family, whatever makes you feel comfortable." And I'm
Okay. Well, you know what? I can't wait to do our do a live with you on TikTok.
Yes. Oh,
I think we could both help boost each other's numbers, honestly.
Yeah. No.
Which would be
100%.
cool. I mean, I've got like 1,000 on one. I got like 3 TikToks. But you know the one that gets the most engagement? My Connie Corso's TikTok account.
I don't know what that one is.
It's a dog. I don't have a picture of him.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have a picture of him. Hold on. He's 3 months old. I'm already teaching him talking buttons.
Oh, that's real? I was
dead ass.
For like AI.
I swear, I'm teaching him talking buttons. He's using the BATHROM outside regularly. Because for each month, you take him out so if he's a month, you take him out every hour. If they're 2 months, every 2 hours. 3 months, you take him out every 3 hours. 4 months, you take him out every 4 hours. That's the rule I use. And it works great. Not only that, I make him wait 10 seconds before he can touch his food. I put his food in his bowl. I put the bowl down. And he's going to be so big. It's one that has 6 levels, but I make him sit and I count to 10. And then when I say get it, then that's when he gets to eat. You dominate nothing around here. I'm the pack leader And that's how you have to be with dogs. You have
Yep.
to be. He is going to be a show dog. So he is beautiful. He's black. He's barely got any white on him, which is a rare.
Okay.
And he's going to be a show dog. And so I have to, he has he eats at the same times every day. He goes to bed at the same time every day. Right now he is in bed for the night, but I'll have to get him up here in about 12, take him out. Then I'll be right back up at 3, taking him out, then 6. And it's been like that for the last 3 weeks since he was, or I'm sorry. Yeah. Cause I brought him home 3 weeks ago. Cause he was 8 weeks when I brought him home.
Okay.
So, and I mean, those first 2 and 3 days, oh, they're rough because mama's gone, brothers and sisters are gone. So they just want to be on you. And
Yeah.
and the beautiful thing about Connie Corsos is they bond specifically to a family, but usually to one person in the family they really, really, really love. And the thing, I taught him how to go. I mean, he's learning things in 1 to 2 days is how long it's taken me to teach him things,
Nice.
which is really nice.
Yeah.
So, I do have a YouTube channel and a TikTok channel for him. And
Okay.
I looked at the TikTok channel the other day. I had no videos on there, but I think almost 100 subscribers. And so I went ahead and posted a couple clips and videos. I've got some more I'm going to put up today. I've got him on talking buttons. I've taught him talking buttons in 2 days to tell me whether he wanted a certain treat or not. Well, then today I tested him again and I was like, do you want to go to grandma's house? And he hits yes, yes, yes. And he's hitting the button with his nose and his hand. And it gives us a different way and a more open way to
Bond.
communicate.
Yeah.
We can have full on conversations if I train him, properly. But that's
Yeah.
a vlog for another day.
That's interesting
It's
though.
fun. It's tiring, but he came to me like a blank slate. What's so good about the breeder that I had. I got scammed for a little bit of money trying to find a good Connie Corso because there's a lot of Nigerians and Africans that are, running their little scams and getting American money and blah, 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 blah. And the only reason I say this is because I tracked the guy down to Nigeria, got his pages all taken down within
Nice.
48 hours. But you just have to be careful. There's things you got to look for when you're dealing with breeders. And one thing I don't like about breeders is the ones that try to control whether you're going to breed your dog or not. That's my dog. I
Right.
paid
Like what
for him.
exactly?
And you're trying to tell me I can't spread his bloodline? I'm not going to put him with a Jack Daniel puppy. I mean a Jack Daniel dog. What's that
Yeah.
going to look like? No. Connie Corso to Connie Corso, because this, I kid you not, I don't even have the paper on me. This is an AKC registered dog. I just got the certificate in the mail today. I have his pedigree going back 13 generations. And they're all show dogs. Every last one of them were show dogs.
Oh, I'm gonna have to follow this page.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. So to be able to have him actually tell me, yes, I want to go to grandma's, because he knew grandma was gonna take him for a walk today.
Mm.
And then I'll tell you one more thing before I let you go. I go on every morning. I'm up at 6. He eats at 7. We go walking a little bit before it gets too hot. Well, I'm standing in the middle of the street. I live in the country. You can't even get close to my house without me seeing you.
Right.
Standing in the middle of a 4-way road, country road, and I'm smoking, and an ash fell into my my treat bag, my treat tote. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna catch on fire. God, let me get this out. So my attention is on getting this out. All of a sudden, I hear a woof, and it was a different type of woof than I ever heard, and it
Yeah.
immediately got my attention. And I look over at him, and then I look up. There's a car coming. He's telling me at 2.5 weeks, get out the road, a car's coming.
Oh,
2.5 weeks after I brought him home.
he's the best.
So he was what, 9, 10 weeks at that point? Yeah, this was like a week ago.
Wow.
So I just was like,
Shout out to him.
the intelligence.
Yeah.
It's the intelligence. So along with the talking, buttons, I'm going to teach him colors. Yeah, they may see colors in a different way, but they see them in the way they see them.
Right.
They don't change.
Right,
So
exactly.
even if blue looks red to us, red looks blue to him. When I say it's blue, he's going to say it's blue.
Yeah.
And I want him to pick the right choice. And so far, the way things are going, I think I'm going to have a brag video on this dude.
Yeah.
Each
facts.
month, I think.
That would be good. And I'm here for it. I will watch.
So, yeah. But I'll definitely make sure to let you know, because I got 3 TikTok accounts and LeakYou podcast, LeakYou.com, and then of course my Pablo, the TX, the famous Kano. I don't even know what I named it, but I know I put Pablo, the famous Corso, in there because he's an eye catcher. I
Yeah.
can't. I go in the dollar store. I'll take him in there with me on a leash, and everybody stops what they're doing looking at him.
Aw.
He catches everyone's eye. His ears are already docked. His tail's docked. He's it's amazing and admirable just to look at him. He's so
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
Let
I mean,
alone learn about how smart he already is. So yeah,
they
more
are
to come.
intelligent, and
They-
I thought I had a smart dog with a Saint Bernard once, and I have a history of training dogs. I've had several dogs, and I've trained several dogs. This one, I had a little issue with my daughter over a damn dog, and we had joint custody supposedly, but I guess we don't anymore. And I don't have time for bullshit. I need eyes and ears. I'm getting older. I want a dog here, and I may end up having a second one, and I may start breeding them. That's very possible in my world because I love him so much, and I've
Yeah.
been around him so much, and my dad was really good with them. But there's going to come a time I'm going to want to retire. All of the retire all of the stuff that comes with life and just do something that I love to do. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about work, because that's already done. I'm just talking about where we always are caught up in doing things that we don't ever really want to do, but we have to do it or
Yep.
we don't survive.
Exactly.
And
You
I
get
don't
stuck in a
want to
rat
live
race.
like that.
Facts. I'm the same
you
way.
know,
Yeah.
I
You
wanna-
go on autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to be able to, I'd love to be able to be at home with, some beautiful dogs, Connie Corsos that I love that were almost extinct in Italy in the 70s.
Wow.
And they brought all the smartest temperament dogs and breeded them and branched out from there. So it's very interesting, their story. And they almost became completely extinct.
Wow.
And so I want to be able to, move into something that I really want to love to do. And I really love the breed, love the animal. They're so loyal. They don't want to, sit next to you. They want to sit on you.
Yeah.
They want to be on your feet and lay across
Mhm.
you, and because they're just so loving. They remind me almost, I had a Saint Bernard once, and I thought she was the smartest dog ever. Well, until 3 weeks ago, that was the case.
Right.
So,
That's
anyway.
beautiful, though.
But listen, we've been on here 2.5 hours, girl. It don't even seem like it.
No, it was so fun.
It gets like that, and always the streams that start off with weird technical issues and stuff always ends up being the best ones. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
I mean,
So we'll
it's
see what
like,
happens with
yeah, I'm
this.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk Thursday at 9, and I'll reach out to you, of course, before then.
Yeah, of course.
We'll talk tomorrow about Thursday. I'm gonna
Okay.
let you get some rest. I'm gonna go eat. Actually, I'm
Me
hungry.
too. We went out
And
to Chili's for my daughter's birthday,
oh,
but
that sounds
I was an
awesome.
hour away. And
Oh,
so I have it actually that I'm gonna go finish, and I have another part of her birthday cake in there too that I hijacked.
yeah.
So I'm gonna eat just the same as you.
Yep, I made some chicken soup, and I love my Instapot because I can make chicken noodle soup in less than 2 hours
Nice.
with big chicken breast meat if I want. But I like the thighs because they're
I
juicier.
love
And
the thighs. I don't like
yeah,
white meat. It's too
I
dry.
mean, I like drumettes, wings.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't like breast meat too much.
I don't like breast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little. It depends on how it's cooked. I
Yeah.
mean, even if you may put it in a chicken soup, I just like the way I think what it is, honestly, it's the bones in the thighs that give it the real good flavor.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
what I think that it is. So that's why I think I like it
Yeah.
better, because the bones just give flavor. They're known to make that soup. What is it? Pho. That stuff
Oh,
is made out of bones that are boiled for 20 plus, 30 plus hours.
really? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I hope you
So
enjoy your
anyway,
chicken
I hope you
noodle.
enjoy yours too, and we'll talk again Thursday. And it's been really good chatting with you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Well, I'll talk to
Absolutely.
you
See you
later.
Thursday.
That was good.
All right, guy. All right, everybody, don't forget Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, right here on the LeakYou.com YouTube channel. We'll also be streaming everywhere else, per usual. Twitter, Twitch, all of that good stuff. And so I will be getting a copy of this, also uploaded accordingly to my official podcast platforms where I really make my money. Which, I'd love it to be $1 million a day. Wouldn't that be great? Man, if y'all haven't watched Triple Frontier, watch Triple Frontier and see. I mean, could you imagine a house being the bank, meaning the house has been created from, you know, wood, but money stuffed in the walls. We're talking a mansion. If you haven't seen Triple Frontier, it's one of the best movies on Netflix, hands down, hands down. So anyway, guys, thanks for. I know it's been a while since I've been live, and I thought tonight was a good live, at least to start with. I'm gonna get up off of here. I got some things I got to take care of, but I love you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Queen, I love you. Hold on. My eyesight. I almost said Earl. Emmanuel, I know that's you. It's good to see you. Good to see you, Terry Dow. Thanks everybody for the shares, and the love. I really do appreciate it very, very much. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. They cut off the comments at a certain point, and I can't see them all. So, anyway, and shout out to all of you on Facebook and Twitter that are watching as well. I see you guys. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great night, and I'll see you on the next live stream. Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Got to pop the pill. I'm
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.